but yeah, Steven's been doing video. He was probably one of the first people that I know that was shooting video 10 or more years ago. So he was really a pioneer back in the day, and has, refined his methods, and his quality is, really amazing. So somebody that can appreciate, good production quality, it is really good. And there he is. I was just doing your introduction before you showed up.
Oh, here I am.
There he is.
I'm wearing glasses just like you.
Well, yeah, I'm a little older now. I can't see anymore. So I was just telling everybody that you were probably, as far as I can remember, the first person in Phoenix anyway shooting video for properties.
Yep.
And I think people thought you had probably lost your mind. And
yes, they did. I was right, huh?
And now look where we're at. So I'm going to turn this over to Steven. Steven's the owner of Hub Media. Been shooting video, thousands of videos for what, a decade or more
10
now.
Years. 10 years.
So
yeah.
I'm going to stop talking, Steven.
Okay.
It's all yours.
What do you want to know? I know a lot about a lot,
So a lot has changed in the last 30 days. Where do you see the market going with video? How do agents incorporate video to really maximize, doing business in this? I'll call it. It's a new paradigm.
It's a new world, right? Right.
So in the new world, what do we need to have our, focus on?
Gotcha. So when I first started doing video, less than 1% of real estate agents use video in their business, right? Less than 1%. That 1% included professional. It included people using the Flipmino HD. Remember those ones? The Flipmino? It included people just now you have roughly 9% of real estate agents using video in their business. I think that because of COVID, and really not because of COVID, because now the consumer clearly wants video, right? I think you're going to see video explode across real estate, which honestly, it's kind of funny that it took a pandemic to make that happen to begin with, right? Video is perfect for real estate. It's emotional, it's visual. If it's done right, you can feel it all the way. There we go.
All right.
Okay.
Just going with it.
What the heck is going on?
There you are, David. You're unmuted. There you
Anyway. All right.
All right. Where was I? So it's emotional. It's visual. It's clearly a medium that is perfect for real estate because as a real estate agent, the job of a real estate agent is to give enough information where somebody wants to come and see a property, right? But you don't want to give them everything because if you give them everything, Sales 101 will tell you that you will actually lose people more than you will get them, right? You want to give them enough information where they want to come see it. It's like a car dealer. No matter what you say, all they always say is drive the car, right? Drive the car. They have to get you emotionally attached to it where they can ever talk about anything. The real estate agent can get a consumer emotionally attached to a property by using video if done effectively. So we do about 1,500 video tours here in the Phoenix area a year. I think that's more than anybody in Phoenix. It might be more than anybody in the Southwest, and maybe even more than anybody in the United States. So we do a lot of it. What else do you want to know?
I'm seeing a lot more trends with. Actually, I just saw a video. Like, not everybody wants somebody in their house. They showed this guy standing outside flying the drone in the house.
Yeah.
And looked pretty good. Now, actually I want to back up before that. So what's your opinion on like Matterport because that kind of gives you everything.
I was a huge critic of Matterport when it first came out. Matterport was launched, I think about 4 years ago at Inman. And when it first came out, I didn't like it at all. And I didn't like it because there was one thing missing, and that was emotion, right? I just said you can't sell real estate without emotion. And Matterport had zero emotion, right? In my opinion, it was ugly, it was gray, it was white, there was no agent branding. The load speed was very small, or that was forever. I mean, if your website doesn't load within like 0.2 seconds, people leave, right? Matterport took forever. And so I did not like Matterport at all. And so what happened was this thing started, and I started getting more and more requests for 3D, and now we do 3D, but we do something Theta. In my opinion, Theta is better than Matterport. You can't even optimize Matterport. Everything's on their server. You can't do anything with it. Whereas with Theta, you can actually get an MP4. You can optimize it, add it to your own website. You're paying for perpetual hosting, which in our business, because we shoot some houses that will be on the market for 2 years or more because they're 10, 15, $20 million houses, any profit margin is eaten up by Matterport because you're paying $300 a month for hosting, you know? And
Wow.
so Theta was definitely the way to go. So we do offer it. The one thing I would say about 3D is you need to be careful with it because, again, in sales, you're the expert. You know it's going to be the hot buttons for the consumer. You don't want to show them everything because if you do show them everything, you lose the opportunity not just to show them that property, but say, okay, you don't want 4 bedrooms, you want 3 bedrooms and a den? Great, I have that over here. But that conversation may never take place if you've given them too much information. You know?
I remember, yeah, because I remember, you know, I sold property for over 13 years, and people will tell you what they want, and they may exclude.
That's not what they want.
Well, they don't know what they want till they see it. So
they're telling you what they think they want, right?
If they see everything, they may go, I don't want that. But once they're actually in the house and they have an experience of the property,
exactly.
I've seen that. I'm probably not the only one.
Yeah, you got to get them in the house first.
So also in the chat window, if anybody has a question that you'd like me to get to Stephen, just send it to me and I will ask the question for you.
I see Debbie Synagoga there. Hi, Debbie. Wait, if Aaron finds out you're cheating, he's not going to be happy.
Yeah, don't tell him. I thought maybe he'd be on with you. You guys be together.
Yes, that's right. I'm going to tell him. I was with Debbie today, and you weren't there, Aaron. He's going to love it. What'd you say, Dave?
No, I just learned something about Matterport. I didn't know about the hosting. So
yeah, everything's done on their servers. You cannot control metadata whatsoever. Now, another thing, in fact, for those of you at home that want to know how important optimization is and syndication and understanding how to get your content found, I wrote an article about 4 years ago called 8 Reasons We Don't Recommend Matterport for Real Estate. Okay? Did I ever tell you about this, Dave?
Nope.
No? Google it.
No.
Just put Matterport and Hub Media and you'll come up with this post. I actually like Matterport from a technology perspective. I think it's very exciting. For like commercial applications for hotels, I think it's awesome. At the time that I wrote that post, I just didn't think that it was perfect for what we do, which is luxury real estate. Again, because you can't optimize it, because you're giving them everything, because it's not the best presentation, it's gray, it's white, all that stuff. I also was not a fan of the dollhouse. And I tested it out on a very technical per people, which is my parents. And at the time, my parents were, I don't know, 65, they're like 70 and 71 now. They could not get around the dollhouse. They were like, the dollhouse would zoom up and then it would zoom back down. And they were like, I don't know where I am. And with a lot of the people a lot of houses we're shooting, especially in that 2, 3, 8, 10, $20 million, a lot of those buyers are baby boomers and they're older. And so we just stayed away from Matterport for that reason. Again, there's been a lot of people doing Matterport right now. We do the 3D Theta, but I think that once everything gets going again, I think people will go back to full motion video because of the benefits. Just the branding and the optimization for YouTube is huge on its own, right?
So you can take the Theta video and you can actually edit it?
Yeah. You can edit it, yes. You can take the 3D images and put them into something like Lightroom or Photoshop and you can edit them. We do that already, so when we give it to them, And I wish I had a tour here. I'd add it in here. I'll actually send it to you later so you can send it out. But yeah, it can be edited, it can be branded, it can do all that. But you can't really do that with Matterport right now. I think you can add their name. That's about it. So if somebody wanted to, we can actually take an MP4. Um, we can record an agent's introduction and then edit that into that video. So that the agent's saying, "Hi, I'm Debbie Sinico with Russ Lyon Sotheby's, and today I want to introduce you to this house." And then we can edit that all together if that's what somebody wants. We don't have that option with Matterport. That
Right.
anyway.
Huh, interesting.
Debbie said, "How long should a video be to capture a buyer's attention?" As long as you think it needs to be. Let's say, for the sake of argument, that you know for a fact that if somebody finds out that you have this Turkish marble that's been imported from, that nobody else can get it. Because when you're up in Silverleaf, when you're up in those really expensive areas, a lot of times it's like, they want the house because of what it makes them feel, right? It makes me feel like I'm this or I'm that. I mean, does anybody really need 20,000 square feet, right? Maybe not. They're buying it because of the way it makes them feel. To get a buyer's attention, a video could honestly be as short as 30 seconds if it touches on the points that you need it to get somebody to take action. Can you do it in 30 seconds? I don't know. I really don't. I think if you were going to do it in 30 seconds, it would have to be a video targeted to a very young generation, like 25, because they're used to, really fast edits, really fast changes. I don't think an older demographic I think they'd be frustrated by it. But yeah, I think at the very least I'd probably do a minute, which is why we offer those Instagram versions anyway. So, what else, David?
Well, I see a lot of people trying to use these.
Yep.
And I think what a lot of agents or just people don't understand is what you're getting on your cell phone. It's called computational photography.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic on your phone.
Yeah, it doesn't look good when it's kind of like a tattoo on a woman after she's had, she's gained 200 pounds. It's stretched out. It doesn't look. It's not ideal, right?
But I hear it's the iPhone Pro 11. I'm like,
yeah,
no, it isn't.
No,
if you take that footage and actually put it through a processing program, it looks horrible. Actually, I want to talk. I know this is a video conversation, but photography, the photos look horrid online off of a cell phone.
Right, especially in MLS once they're stretched out to fit that box. Yeah,
they don't look good. So I know you guys do photography. My favorite is HDR photography. Not really, but tell me about what you guys are doing in the photography world.
What we're doing as far as what we shoot with, how much we charge, like what? What do you want to know?
Editing, how you're editing, how you're getting the shots.
Well, I mean, that photography is an art form, right? With photography, you're literally trying to tell a story with 1 second in space, with one angle, with one image. And so that's really, and I'll tell you, I am not a photographer. I have photographers. I'm not one. I don't know much about photography at all, which is why I hire to my weakness. And I have amazing people like Aaron, Aaron and Colin and Tina who run that photography division. But I don't do photography at all. Zero.
No, we probably shouldn't talk about that then.
No, I don't know anything about photography. Debbie can tell you all about photography. She knows what the good photography looks like. Right?
Yeah, good professional photography, actually. Well, the only thing I'll say about photography, there's HDR, high dynamic range, which if done how I mostly see it, looks like a cartoon, not realistic.
Right. Orange and purple, right.
And then you can, the question to really ask the photographer is, are you shooting in RAW? The RAW file, you can actually manipulate the data that's in it and really come out with a high-res image that would be worthy of being in a magazine. It's the only, I don't know that there's too much HDR actually being shot. Or you'll see HDR being shot outside and you get these funny looking skies and it just looks weird. So, but HDR was originally designed to be shot indoors only, not outdoors. So someone that's doing it outside is probably just being a little lazy.
Yeah, HDR is, I think HDR has its place in real estate. I think a lot of people start with HDR and they started learning with HDR. I think most of the budget companies that you'll find, people that are doing photos for sub 100, sub 150, most of them are going to do HDR. And that's just because it's easy. You know, you're taking
It's
three shots.
cheap and quick.
You don't got to think about anything. You don't got to worry about your lighting. But of course, then you run into issues, which is like warping and orange and purple, and you can't see out the windows and all these other things that you run into with HDR. And so when you're dealing, especially when you're marketing the kind of houses that like someone like Debbie Sinagoga markets, right?
Yep.
You know how your sellers are, right? And those luxury sellers demand a certain level of care, a certain level of marketing, a certain experience. And so when you're trying to market something like that with media that is not ideal, does not make them want to stay in that house when they see it, it's a horrible experience, and it will cost you referrals, it will cost you business. And I've seen it where it's costed the agent the listing, you know, where they went and did. I've had agents who, you'll love this, David. I've had agents who have called me, talked to me. I want to do video. I've offered to send them an unbranded version of one of our videos to show the seller what we're going to do for them, which they did, and then went and used someone else. But then I get a call from that same agent a week later, 3 days later, freaking out because they did that. The seller thought they were getting this, and they ended up getting that, and it ended up costing them the listing.
Well, you're using cinema quality movie
Oh,
cameras.
yeah.
So it's not DSLR at Best Buy.
Yeah. So everybody on this call is an iFound agent client, right? Pretty much?
Yes.
Okay. So here's what I wanted to talk about. I mean, video, I can honestly tell you, video and properties, that should be a no-brainer, right? You guys should be doing it because, again, it's the best way to present. It's also a great way to continue marketing for yourself, meaning I still get leads from my old website from 10 years ago, from videos that I made over 10 years ago. Think about that. An agent that mostly does, 1990s marketing, which is flyers and postcards, those people, that shelf life is literally, it's minuscule, right? It's like, that's more like outbound marketing where you're pushing something, hoping it sticks. The stuff that I created back then is still driving traffic. I still get title companies from all the country. You see the leads that come in from that. Contacting me, asking if they could hire me for consulting. I did a video on how to add video to the multiple listing service, and now I have videographers from all over the country contacting me, trying to figure it out. What I'm telling you is this. If you create content that your ideal client cares about, they will search for it. And if they search for it and they find it, and you're talking about something that is important to them, you're doing it in a professional manner, then you are the expert in that space. Here's the cool thing about that. It doesn't cost them any more to work with an amateur versus it does an expert. They're still going to pay the same. So why not give them everything and bring them to you, present yourself as the expert, and you'll crush it. So many agents don't get that, right? So many agents with their marketing, and their marketing is geared about them, right? I'm the best. I'm amazing. I'm fantastic. I'm number one. I sell 100 houses a year. Here's what I will tell you. David, can I be real here?
You already are.
You know it, right? Steven just gives it. The consumer won't give a damn about you until you give them a reason to care about you. Okay? They don't care about your ABR, your CRS, your GRI, your ePro, all the other stuff that your coach trainers who have never sold real estate in their life anyway tell you they care about. They do not about. What they care about is that they want to be the expert in this space. They want to work with someone that's going to give them a certain level of care, someone that's going to make their lives easier, less stress, save time, save money. If you can do that, you can win the game, but you have to get your content down first. So you have to start asking yourself, who is my ideal client? What questions do they have? What would they type into a search engine when they're trying to find me, even though they don't know that I exist? That's what they need to be doing. And so many agents don't do that. If you look at their marketing, it's all me, 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 me. And I like to say every girl, every woman has another friend who thinks she's it, right? She thinks she's absolutely beautiful. Guys won't leave me alone. They won't stop calling me. And you're like, shut up, right? I hate you, right? You think you're all that. That's how consumers think about real estate agents. They really do, right? You drive this big car. All you do, the glamour shot of you from 25 years ago, you no longer look like. The only times I met an agent when I look at their business card and I realize that's not the person I think they are, right? You can be the expert in this space by creating the content the consumer is looking for. Now, do you want to talk about what they're looking for? When someone wants to buy a house, they're buying an area before they buy a house. Would you agree with that, David?
Right.
Right? If you want to know how real estate marketing works as a real estate agent, look at your own behavior. Don't look at the real estate agent, because most times they're completely 100% wrong. If you only check the mail once or twice a week, chances are your ideal client would do the same, right? They're not there checking the mail every second of every day. So are postcards effective? Maybe. Where are they opening the mail? Are they doing it over the kitchen garbage can? Yes, because that's what I do, right? So you literally have the tiniest little millisecond to get someone's attention with direct mail. Would you agree with that, David?
I agree. I used to do a lot of it.
Over 90% of consumers are starting their home search online, right? Now, again, they're not necessarily looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath home in Troon, because they may not know Troon exists. What they may start looking for is the best schools in 85259. And then once they find that and they identify what the best school district is, then they're looking for a home in 85259, right? So it's all about shifting the way you think. Instead of thinking like a real estate agent, think like a consumer. What do I want to know? If I'm moving from Michigan to Phoenix, what do I want to know? I don't know anybody. I don't know anything.
What's there to do there?
I might want to know about the major employers. I might want to know where they are. Let's say I'm an engineer and I might be in the tech world. I might be looking for homes near Intel, right? Let's say I'm another engineer and maybe I need to be on the west side. I might be looking for homes near Honeywell. Those are the things that agents need to start creating content on. You need to be a resource, right? Not all about me, but present yourself as an expert on something, right? Jack of all trades is a master of none. I told you I don't do photography. Video is my thing. Content marketing is my thing, right? We've been doing this for 10 years, right, David? 10 years. I was blogging before. I mean, it was me and Phoenix Real Estate Guy. Remember that, David?
I do.
Nobody else was blogging. I remember Active Rain, right? Their Rain Camp came out of something that Ted Cantor and I put together. Rain Camp had never existed before that, right? We called them up in Seattle and said, hey, we're blogging. This is how they came down and had over 1,000 people in a room. Rain Camp is born, right? Blogging is still huge. And if you want to beat Zillow, you need to know how to create content and get it found online. Otherwise, you're going to be a slave to third-party aggregators like Zillow and Realtor.com, Trulia. They're always going to beat you. But they can't beat you on the ground level. Meaning, if you're creating content on the local level, the hyper-local level, things to do, restaurants, schools, all the stuff that you would care about if you're moving from one area to another, restaurants. Would you believe that your property value is worth more if it's within a certain area of a Trader Joe's? It's 100% true. These are all things that people, they want to be close to something, and they're willing to sacrifice certain things to have a different quality of life. Some people, they want to be closer to an airport. Some people want to be closer to parks. It all depends. But you need to get that content first.
All right, we've got questions.
What'd you say?
We've got questions from,
Yes.
I've got a couple from Debbie.
Okay, so Debbie, how long should a video be? Buyer's attention. Somebody's sharing their screen with us.
Oh, cool.
All right. I don't know who that is, but
That's Melody.
I can't see it. I can't see the questions because I'm looking at somebody's screen. I don't know who it is, though.
What types of video options do you offer and pricing? How do we create content with video? And
Great question. Great question. So here's the good news, Debbie. For the past 6 years, I've spent building up Hub Media, right? And now, partly because of COVID, I've been at home for over 45 days. And here's what's cool, or 35 days, whatever it is. Here's what's cool. Hub Media has run all on its own, right? Aaron and Tina got the photography side. Cameron and Evan got the video side. Colin and Brian have the aerial side. Everything's great. And so I'm going to go back to teaching and doing consulting with our clients. And so one of the things we would definitely cover is, you know, how to do it. You can use your webcam on your computer if you wanted to create content. The most important thing with creating content has nothing to do with the quality. It has to do with the quality of the content, right? For instance, you guys have sacrificed and slaved through absolutely horrible videos that were created 12 years ago in 720, right? Bad lighting. But you're willing to sit there and try and figure out what someone said because you care about the content in the video. You see what I mean? So again, you need to start with what is it, right? Even when you're marketing a property, let's say you're marketing a property in Silverleaf, right? I know you've had listings up there. When somebody wants to live in a place like Silverleaf, what do they really want, right? They really want a lifestyle, right? They really want to belong to a community. They really want a club, right? For some people, they just want to be close to a private airport, like Scottsdale Airport, right? And so these are all things that you should be talking about in your listings before you talk about a 12,000 square foot, 8-bedroom, 16 bathroom house in Silverleaf. You know, I always tell our clients, start macro and go micro. Meaning, talk about the city first, then the community, then the neighborhood or subdivision, then the house, and then back out to macro, which is things to do and lifestyle. So it kind of looks like a V, and then it goes out again, kind of like an hourglass, you know? Let's see, what else? What types of video options do you offer?
I would say on the fly, if you get the inspiration to talk, maybe you're at a restaurant, this is a perfectly good camera now.
Totally fine. Totally fine.
But I wouldn't shoot your house video with that. But yeah, if you get inspiration about things to do or whatever, pull it out, 1 minute, post it.
Yeah.
I've seen things rank. It's a silly little thing. I have a video on just this random thing I posted. I have over 200,000 views on it.
Yeah.
And I put like zero thought into it. It's, you know, you just don't know.
Have you Googled, if you Google, so one of the best things about content, if it's done right, the best content I've ever created, and I create content on a regular basis, right? It's always come from a question my client has asked or an observation that I've made. That's the best content you're ever going to come with, right? So I tell our clients, always carry a pad or use the voice memos on your phone and literally write down every single question a buyer asks you and every single question a seller asks you, no matter how small or minuscule you think it is. Here's why. We're not that different. The same thing that somebody wants to know here in Phoenix is what somebody wants to know in Florida who's thinking about moving to Phoenix. And so instead of talking about things you think people care about, ask them questions and they'll tell you exactly what they care about, and then create content around it. That being said, when aerial video first started, we've been flying drones for years, but before aerial video really caught on, you had the original Phantom, and then you had to attach a GoPro, and then you had to buy a Zenmuse gimbal. And then you didn't even have the ability to see what you were shooting. You were just kind of hoping that you were getting what you needed, know what your settings were, because you couldn't do that with the GoPro. It was crazy. And so there was some lenders that got into it, and rightfully so, they were going to get business, and so they were doing business. They were trying to do aerial video for their clients, right? I saw this video, a lender did, and the video, David, was, 3 minutes long now is considered a long video. This was a 3-minute long video 7 years ago, 6 years ago. And the video was like this: up, down on one corner, up, down on another corner, back, up, down, right, up, down, over the top. It was so boring, and I was like, oh my God. So I came up with an idea of how not to use aerial video in real estate. If you guys Google that right now, you'll find it still, page 1 of Google, in the first spot with, 300,000 views on it. I don't even know how many it has. Do you know how many video courses I sold because of that one video, David?
A lot.
A ton. Tens of thousands of dollars in video courses because of it. Crazy.
There it is.
Melody wants to know, can I repeat that? Can I repeat what, Melody? Which part? All right, you got to tell me. All right, so you see it on there, David?
Excuse me. Yeah, the order in which you said You want first the city and then repeat.
Yeah. So macro to micro. City, community or subdivision, house, and then back out things to do. So it's like an hourglass. That's what you do. So for instance, welcome to Scottsdale. Arizona is one of the most livable cities where you'll find parks and schools and amazing things to do and da-da-da. In Scottsdale, you'll find the amazing community of Troon, a master plan community with 3 Jack Nicklaus golf courses or whatever you want to say, and only 20 minutes to the most convenient shopping and dining. It's here that we find 1234 East Main Street, a 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 3,200 square foot opulent estate, right? It has quartz countertops and Viking and Sub-Zero, and it has, these pocket doors that reveal the view and blah, 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 whatever else. Then back out, right? The back out is, of course, you're only 20 minutes away from some of the best restaurants that Scottsdale has to offer, shopping, dining, nightlife, and only 20 minutes to Sky Harbor Airport, right? And so it's macro, micro, then back out. What else, David?
We're open for questions right now. So this.
All right. So I know that this is, before I taught any class, and I've taught real estate agents like around the world, right? I mean, I've had real estate agents from like Singapore, Australia, New Zealand buy my video courses. The most important thing as a real estate agent is that you're being your, right? People will say, be everybody else is already taken, right? So many people want to be something they're not. And when you're dealing with content marketing, you need to be able to speak in your own voice, right? You need to be authentic, your authentic you, and you're going to attract people because of it. I'm my authentic me. When I teach classes, before I teach, I say, listen, I'm going to say some things that are going to offend you. I have no doubt about that, okay? Just know that if I did, I wasn't looking at you when I said it, okay? One of the things I tell them right away, because they all think everybody's classes are the same, is I tell them you are a commodity, and until you decommoditize yourself, the consumer will not care about you. Most people don't know that I was in title before I started Hub Media, and I spent 13 years in title. I can tell you that I've sat down with some of the biggest agents in the Valley at that time, and if you ask an agent, they love to say, I'm this and I'm that, and I'm this and I'm that. I would look at them and say, tell me, give me your value proposition, give me your unique selling proposition as to why, if I'm a consumer, I should use you. And immediately, they would go with, I have integrity, I answer my phone, I'm honest, I'm trustworthy. And I would just look at them and say, okay, everything that you mentioned here is an expectation. It's not really a benefit. So tell me again how you are better and different than your competition and why I as a consumer should choose you. Well, we have our finger on the pulse. Okay, statistics. Give me evidence of this. Well, we have this. I said, listen, you need to know this stuff about you. Okay, if you don't know the value of working with you, you can expect me to know the value of working with you. And I was blown away by the number of people, real estate agents, salespeople in general, who didn't know what their unique selling proposition was and how they were better and different, right? When I was in title, mine was I help real estate agents get found online. Remember that, David? That's what I did. I didn't introduce them to escrow officers because if they believed me, then they believed who behind me. They were an extension of the level of service that I provided, right? That was my thing. When somebody says, what's your elevator pitch? I help real estate agents get found online. I do it with WordPress, I do it with video, I do it with social media, and I tie it all together. As a real estate agent, you need to know what your value proposition is. Again, how are you better different? You want to have a specialty. You don't want to be a jack of all trades. You don't want to say I sell in Chandler and in Scottsdale because you can't do both well, right? Pick your area, pick your neighborhood, and dominate it. When I say dominate it, I mean fill it with content all about that neighborhood. Interview the residents. Why do they live there? I will guarantee that the reasons that you think someone should live in a neighborhood is not why people live there. But you'll find that out once you start talking to the residents, right? Make videos with them. Why did you choose Silverleaf over Desert Highlands, right? You'd be amazed at the things they will tell you. Why did you choose Desert Mountain over Silverleaf, or Silverleaf over Troon, or whatever it might be? But you have to ask people those kind of questions, and then you'll find out. What else do you want to talk about, David?
I actually have something to add, in the world of content. For I Found Agent clients, probably one of the most underutilized tools is the Campaign Builder for creating content. And you can actually add video to these. So, back when I was a real estate agent, my farm area was Sweetwater Ranch. 70% of my properties I sold in Sweetwater Ranch. If I was an agent right now, I would do a video on Sweetwater Ranch. 2, I would be using my Campaign Builder to create massive amounts of content online that can be found in Google. So for example, homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch, 4-bedroom homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch, 4-bedroom homes for sale in Sweetwater Ranch with a pool. I could go on and probably make 100 searches for that, plus other things in the area with the Campaign Builder. Every search that you make is searchable in Google. That is a big deal.
Massive.
Unfortunately for us, it some of that can get a little technical, but all you have to know is make your searches on the Campaign Builder, not in Flex. And we have a new video tool that for anything that Stephen Garner makes video, we can put on those specific posts.
Yeah.
Very easy to do now. This is something we just did, and you can really kill in a specific niche, your niche, for that precious organic traffic without paying a dime for it. Now, it's not going to happen overnight, but you're going to do this work anyway. Just do it on your website, not in Flex. That'd be my only thing I'd leave with that.
So I actually can't wait to teach again, David. I'm so looking forward to being off quarantine, because one of the things that I mean, if you go to one of the classes, you will not forget it. I will tell you that right now. You will leave with your head absolutely has exploded. Not only because of the possibilities of the things that you've learned and the evidence you've seen, but because a lot of the things that you believe are not true, right, about real estate marketing. And as an agent, one of the things I always tell people is all content you create should originate on your website first, right? That's the great thing about I Found Agent. Now, I Found built Hub Media's website, right? Hub Media's website is all video. And because of the number of videos in it, that website, that I get called people all the time who found us online, right? They typed in something and they found one of our videos either on YouTube or Vimeo or our website, whatever that might be. All your content begins and ends on your website. So I like to say all roads lead to Rome, and Rome is your website, right?
And every piece of content that you make, the longer it's out there, the more valuable it becomes.
Right. Yeah.
So the more content you're creating, it really is a web. It just starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's not going to happen all at once, but it's just a shift in thinking. And this is not, everything we've talked about on this webinar, not rocket science, very easy to do, and low technology.
Don't do it because they don't know. I remember one of the things I learned from Dale, right? Because I've known you guys for how long now?
12, 13 years.
Yeah, right? It's been a long time, right? Because we started a long time ago. So I remember one of the things that Dale said, which really struck me, I didn't think about it, is if, let's say Debbie has a client and Debbie's client asks her a question and she thinks that that's a good question for other people. Other people might have that question. Instead of just answering that person's question in an email, I'll post about it on your website. And then after you answer their question, push that blog post out, right, to all of your clients. But do it in story form. For instance, instead of matter of fact, say, the other day I was talking to my client, John, and John said this, or John believed this. And it's interesting. I think there's a lot of people that believe that. But in reality, it's this, right? And so you're creating content in a story form and then adding it to your website. By doing that, you're making it more engaging because it's natural. You're making it more, you're making it informational. But now you've also just created something that you can push out or syndicate to your clients, which is going to drag them right back to your website. If you can get them on your website, it's kind of, I like to say it's like Costco, right? They say you can't get in and out of Costco without spending $100. Why is that? Because you're walking for one thing, but you got to go past all this other stuff you never considered you needed that you end up buying, right? You can get somebody on your website for one thing, they will find something else. Whether that be a video testimonial about you and how you're different than your competition, whether that be searching for homes for sale, whether that be learning about different areas, or maybe reading an article about what's COVID-19. If you can get somebody on your website, they will experiment and learn more about you. But you have to get them in your website first. And so all roads lead to Rome. Rome is your website. That's where your content begins and ends, period.
Last thing with the website, we also just added the ability for you to make a search just for your clients that have video tours, and for your client to be able to search for properties that only have video tours. And there's, I created a brief video on how to add that feature to your campaign searches. It takes like a minute.
Yeah.
So, or we can add that for you, but it's just another tool to really highlight video and, you know, people that just want to look at video right now. So that's just a way to deliver it and just make it simple for yourself and for them.
So one of the ways that I like to teach people is something called self-discovery, right? I can sit here and tell you how something is. You may or may not believe it. But if I tell you something in a way where you evaluate your own behavior and that's true, you get it faster and it makes more sense, right? And so I want you guys to understand, I want you to think about this. Debbie, I'm going to use you as an example if that's okay. Just nod if that's okay. Okay, great. Debbie, you go to Costco, okay? You left, you went to Costco, you did your shopping, you went around, you shopped. On the way home, you pull into your neighborhood and you notice that your neighbor has listed their house for sale, okay? There's a for sale sign in the neighborhood. Now, tell me, you can say it or you can type it. What is the first thing that you think about as a homeowner, not a real estate agent? What's the first thing?
Why didn't they call me?
Well, okay, great, right? I said as a homeowner, not a real estate agent, though.
Oh, as a homeowner? Wait, repeat.
You're driving into your neighborhood. You've just come back from the grocery store, and you know
I'm a
your neighbor is
homeowner.
listed their
I'm not
house.
the realtor. I'm a homeowner.
You're a homeowner. You're not the real estate agent. What's the first thing
You're just a regular schlub.
I
Yeah.
was going to say, I wonder why they picked that agent.
You really? You don't think right away? I wonder what they listed the house for
Well,
because it's
and that.
time. Okay. Most people are going to think is what's the price, because that price directly impacts the property value as another homeowner, right? Great. Where do I find out that price, Debbie?
Well, if they have a flyer box, you get it from there. Otherwise, you're going to go to the internet.
People aren't going to get out of their car. They don't want their neighbors to see they care about their house.
You're going to go online and look them up by the address.
Exactly. Here's the great thing. If you have created a video for a property and it is properly optimized, first of all, homes with video receive 403% more activity than homes without, first of all, okay? But videos are 57 times more likely to show up on the first page of Google than text alone. And so you're a consumer, you just Googled your neighbor's house, right? You obviously want to know what the price is. You have 10 links in Google. You got Zillow, you got Trulia, you got Realtor.com, you got HotPads, you got Movado, and then you have a video. Which one do you click on, Debbie?
I'd click on the video because it would be more real.
Great. Now, I am now seeing the real estate agent in front of this house talking about this, and as a homeowner, I want that on my house, don't I? Right? When I go to list, I'm thinking, I've actually had homeowners contact me saying, why didn't my real estate agent do this on our house because their house is listed in the same neighborhood. Like one agent did this level of marketing and another one didn't. Trust me, homeowners realize these things and they actually talk to each other, you know what I mean? And so I had people call me about it, and it's always like, I'm like, you need to talk to your agent. I am out of this, okay? But as a real estate agent, people wear their name tags when they go to the grocery store. They're always out there. Some of them have like branded pens and pads to say I'm a real estate agent, right? If somebody Googles the address at the very moment they hear most about why, and you as an agent are in this video educating them about it and doing it professionally, two things are going to happen. One, you've just exposed the brand of you to someone who didn't even know you existed. Second of all, you've educated and informed them about this property. You've given them something that they can share with someone else, but you've also given them the ability to wonder, can I do that on my house? And I see it all the time. So if you can create the content, you know how to get it found, people will find it. How would you like it if everybody in the neighborhood all of a sudden knew who Debbie City was that didn't know who Debbie was before, right? That'd be amazing. You can do that if you know how to create that content and get it found. And so,
all right. So here's where I say I have compassion but no sympathy. So I was joking with one of our clients. I said, and actually what Stephen was talking, like when I drive by a brand new sign in my neighborhood, I have zero control over this. The noisemaker in my head goes off. I wonder what that house is listed for. I have no control over that. It just happens. So how do I automatically train people where to go? We'll just use Debbie since we've been talking to Debbie. So Debbie, you want to be sending me a market report on my subdivision every month, so I get it in my head. Oh, I need to go to Debbie's website. That's how you do it. And you can set those campaigns up in the campaign builder. And I found 1 minute, done. It'll update itself. You never have to touch it again. You can put a video in it about yourself, whatever you want.
Yeah.
So make it easy on yourself. We've got the tools. This is not hard stuff. So now's the time to do it. Every 10% of your database will move every year. So you figure out how many
death, marriage, downsizing, upsizing.
And 15% will give you a referral. Those are statistics out of NAR. So, if you have 1,000 people in your database, that you actually did some work on, how many transactions are you going to get a year?
Right. I think the important thing is that you're talking about things that are important and relevant to.
Yes. I want to know what's going on in my neighborhood. I don't care about the recipes and.
Yeah. So, one of the things I like to do with agents is if you were to Google something, right? And if you do it right now at home, you'll see what I mean. If you go to Google and you type in something, let's say, Debbie, what's the number one you farm or market to?
Troon area.
Troon, great. If you go to Google right now and you type in Troon, Google is going to suggest things to you. Have you ever noticed that? It starts popping up while you're typing. You ever seen that before? You know why it does that?
Commonly searched areas.
Yes. Commonly searched terms.
Yeah.
And so it's telling you, it's saying, are you sure you don't mean this? The other people that started looking for what you were looking for actually wanted this. And so pay attention to things when you're typing them in and start writing content on it, because people are obviously searching for it because Google's suggesting it to you, right? Most people don't even realize that that's exactly what it's called, personalized search. And so they're doing it for you. It's telling you what they think is important. And so if you're blogging and you know how to use keywords, right? David, are you guys teaching them all that stuff?
Yes, we have SEO classes. We just recorded one. It's an updated version. It's available.
Yeah.
It's on our blog.
So you can win this game. I always think about it like this. There's a number, my internet connection is unstable. There's a number of people that are locked at home right now. if you were doing this before, you'd have all this content you could have been pushing out the whole time, right? So even your properties would still be marketed, right, 24/7, even while you sleep, if you had content. Not property videos, but videos about things to do and lifestyle and all the questions people are asking. All that stuff could be working for you, and it's still stuff that you can push out through social media. It's still stuff sent out through your CRM, like MailChimp or Constant Contact, or that stuff still be relevant and in front of people when most people are at home. Here's what's really interesting. There's a large segment of the people that are not going back to work, not because their jobs have been eliminated, but because companies have figured out they can have the people work from home, right? For whatever reason, for their culture or for security or whatever, they said, we want you all to come to our central location. There are companies that are going to realize we can still, our people can come home. And that's going to happen with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people around the country. And so you're going to have a lot more people at home looking at content online every second of every day forward. They've done nothing but that for the last 30 days. It's going to continue. So this is a great opportunity for you guys to get content out there for people to find. I'll tell you that one of the important things, and again, we teach these in the classes, is intro content, call to action, right? Most people that do a video, and Debbie, I'm going to use you again because I love you. I love you. Hi, it's me, Debbie, and by the way, this isn't you, Debbie. This is the Debbie I don't want you to be, right? Hi, it's me, Debbie, and I'm a real estate agent with Russ Lyon Sotheby's. Hi, everybody. It's Friday, and I think today what I wanted to talk about is blah, blah, right? Most people are going to leave. They're going to be like, boop, gone, right? And so I tell you, intro content, call to action. If you know what you're in your video about, then it's boom like this. Hey, I'm Debbie Sinigo with Russ Lyon Sotheby's, and today I want to talk to you about the number one mistake I see homeowners make every single day when selling just like yours. Okay? Boom, away. Know what it is. Then the content, right? Boom, boom, boom. Then I am amazed again at the number of people. When I was in title and I would sit down with agents, I would actually train title people that came into the business. And the one thing I always told them is that you have to ask for the order, meaning you have to have a close. You have to have a call to action. When you're dealing with real estate sales and any sales for that matter, you can't rely on the consumer to understand they need to call you. You need to tell them to do something and the value of doing it. So for instance, we just did a video, Debbie's making a video about the top mistakes she sees people making when sell a home like theirs. Then she gets into it, right? The call to action might be, so as you can see, there are significant mistakes that you can make when selling your home, but that's not all of them. If you would like a list of things I think you should avoid over my 15 years of real estate, or maybe you want to know what your home is worth today and worth in today's market, call me, Debbie Sinagoga, at 480-223-8113. Email me at debbie@debbiesynagoga@russlyon.com, or visit me online right? You've given them 3 different options. Most people don't do that simple thing because they don't understand how important a close is, right? I like to say it's the and one. So instead of closing, instead of saying, call me Debbie Sinagoga, call me Debbie Sinagoga for what? For a list, for a value, for a question. What is the and one? Always try to have an and one whenever you can. How do I do, David? What else do you want to know, Miss Debbie? Or anybody else for that matter?
How do we get a hold of you?
Well, I'm online. You can find me. Just Google video production in Phoenix and you'll find us. But you can go to our website, which is probably the easiest thing, which is hubmediacompany.com. Here's the great thing, David. Before we did our website, right, we've had numerous iterations of our website. And every time I found who does it, that's who I always call. Before, we have a video that's on the front of our website. We call them our biopics, okay? It's all about who we are, what we do, why we do it, and why you should choose us. Everybody in sales, not just in real estate, but everybody should have their kind of biopic video. If you ever receive an email from me, on the bottom it will say learn more about us and how we can help you. And when you click on that, it's going to take you to our website, which is where this video. Okay. And so with the biopics, before we did our biopic, people would call me and say, tell me about your company, tell me about this, and tell me about how long you've been in the business, and tell me about your pricing, and this and this, right? After we did our biopic, those questions, numbers, and the call volume significantly decreased. What happened? People were going to our website and learning more about us, and our video about who we are was selling them on who we are and what we do and why you should choose us without us ever having to have a call. And so they would just book right away. And so when I would call them, it's because they always want to know how people heard of us, who referred you to us. They say, oh, I found you online, or I watched your video and I really liked it. And I had no idea you were entitled. And I had no idea you used to do this. And the only reason they knew that was because of that video. So what I would tell you is, as a real estate agent, you should have a video all about you, what you do, where you do it, and why someone should choose you. And that video should be on the front of your website. That video should be on a link in your business card. It should be an email signature. It should be on your media. It should be.
That's the one I would put globally on every single property listing that shows up in the IDX. Mm-hmm. The way they show up, the way the property listings show separately, they don't know it's not your listing. In fact, it looks like it's more yours than the actual listing agent. It just says courtesy of. Above you'll have your property video about your biopic.
What's really cool about the property videos is so we have quite a few LDS clients in the Valley here, and we've done videos for people who are moving from Arizona to Salt Lake City, Utah, and I'll never forget, we did this one video for this gentleman. He told me right away, these clients are very private. They want the video not for the sale of the house, but for them because they have like 4 little kids and they want to be able to show the video to the little kids later. And I said, oh, that's so cool, right? There's certain things I learn about this business that I never once thought about until someone says something like that, right? I never really thought of the fact that somebody would have an emotional attachment because their kids were raised in it or because the dog was buried in the backyard. Right? And so we made this video. His name is Greg. And made the video. It was unlisted. He calls me about, I want to say it's 2 weeks or a month later. And he was like, and I was like, what? He's the video. And I'm like, the video what? He goes, the video you did for the so-and-so family. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, the video had 1,000 views on it. I'm like, well, that's great. He goes, Steven, we never made the video public. We gave the video to them and they're sharing it with everyone they know. And so because Greg was in that video, Greg was introduced to everybody they know as a trusted and valued resource because of something called social proof. Social proof is if it's good enough for somebody else I know or even don't know, it's good enough for me. If you shop on Amazon, you see social proof all the time, right? You go and you start looking for the reviews and you're looking for the positive reviews and people are saying this is great. And you're like, okay, Debbie says, I don't even know Debbie, but he says it's okay. You're looking for something that's a thing, and then you start looking for the one person who says, get this the hell out of my house. That's absolutely horrible, right? But you will buy based upon what other people say, even though you don't know them. Same with he was introduced directly to other families and other communities and forced by them, even though they were said choose Greg. Enough that they chose Greg for Greg. And he just loved that. It was amazing. 1,000 views. That's pretty crazy, right? Awesome. I hope I answered a lot of your questions. I'm sure there's a lot more. But hold on. So what are the best?
We can do this again, right?
Huh?
We can do this again, right?
Well, we should be able to do it again. I'm hoping you guys got some value out of it. I hope it was something. Did you learn anything, Miss Debbie?
I
Good.
did.
Make sure you tell Aaron. Make sure you tell Aaron. Okay, he needs to know. Okay, so Debbie said best day. I honestly don't know what the best days to post are. Oh, my lights are dying. I really don't know what the best days to post are. I have not looked at or evaluated it yet.
It depends what the goal is. Now, if the goal is just to get in Google or Google rankings, it doesn't matter. Social media, they say first thing in the morning before people really get pounded with their emails. So
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a right answer. It just depends on what the goal is.
I mean, but here's the thing. When you say post, you're talking about a blog post or social media, Debbie?
Blog.
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 Okay. Doesn't really matter. You know why? Because if you've done it right, it's going to be indexed by Google, and if there's a video on it, it's going to be indexed by YouTube. And so it doesn't really matter. It's people are going to find it if you've done it right.
Yeah, the blog post's really going to give you that Google indexability. And just so I'm clear about what indexability is. So when Google indexes your site, they're basically taking that page, they put it in their filing cabinet. So when someone's doing a search, based on how they're weighting, what they think your blog post is about, that's where they decide, where to put it in the search engines. So, if they look at your website as a, high value website, it's going to be higher. If they look at it as a spam website, it's probably not even going to show up. So,
yeah.
So can I just ask a quick question? So you're saying if we post on our website, it's actually automatically going to show up on YouTube? But if we have a YouTube channel, should we put there too?
No, you can
You
post.
don't need to be on YouTube.
Yeah, you put the video on YouTube, and then we can pull that YouTube link into the website very easily. In fact, there's a tool. Just click and what's the link, and it'll just drop it right in. So it's pretty easy to do that. And also, I don't know if you have noticed at the bottom of the campaign builder, you also have the ability to put a YouTube video in the email that you're sending out also.
Yeah. Debbie, so regarding that, so there's a strategy that I teach our clients that I have an ebook that I'll send to you that we send to our clients. You're one of our clients, so I'll send it to you.
Okay.
It will take you, right? We call it our 8 steps to video success. There's 8 things that you need to do with every video. Right?
That'd be awesome.
That's what I'd like.
And so
Can you send that to Melody also?
no, we've only made that available to our clients. I'll send it. Sorry?
We are the client.
Who's the client? I don't know who's there.
It's Melody.
You don't sound
Melody.
like Melody.
Melody and Ralph.
Oh, okay. No, I'm talking to Hub Media's clients is what I meant. Are you one of our clients, Melody?
Oh, no, we're with iPhone.
That's it. Okay. So I'll talk to David and figure out another thing. We just have certain things that we don't really want to help other people compete with our clients, which, kind of makes sense.
Stephen has no affiliation with iFound Agent other than I know him as a awesome videographer, and now that we've really upped our video capabilities, just to bring more knowledge into what we should be doing as agents with video, I couldn't think of anyone better than Stephen, just because I know his background and experience. So, but I invite you to, look at, go to hubmediacompany.com, have a conversation with Stephen about what he can do for you, and go from there.
One of the things, Debbie, is, and I ask you this because I want to see what your answer is, because you've been, how long have you been selling real estate?
Almost 20 years.
20 years, right? Okay, cool. Let me ask you this. In your experience, what is the value of social media?
Just to let people know you're out there and selling real estate.
Cool.
Exposure.
Exposure. Okay, great. Would that be your number one answer?
Yes.
You know what the true value of social media is?
What?
Pulling people away from it. That's the true value.
The number one value of what is?
Of social media is pulling people away from it.
To get them off of it to your website.
Everybody wants to post stuff on social media, right? No, you want to pull from social media. And so if you look at the top marketers in the world, the ads, what are they doing? They're not keeping you on Facebook. Where are they pulling you?
Sending you to their website.
Right. So again, everything that we post on social media is designed to get people to leave social media, is designed to get them to leave Facebook, to leave Twitter, to leave Instagram, and go to our little place where they can learn more about what we do. Because we know once they're there, it's like Costco. They're going to discover other things. They're going to learn more about us. They're going to search for homes. They're going to do whatever. And so think about that, knowing when you're posting things, what is my goal? Am I just talking? Am I posting a picture of my dinner and why? Or am I posting a picture of my dinner because I got it at a restaurant with a blog post I just wrote about what's it called? Fifth and Ash, Maple and Ash, is that what it's called? The new hot restaurant, right? Or maybe Ocean 44 or whatever it is. The true value of social media is pulling people away from it. That will change your perspective. And I'll give you our strategy on how to do that. Okay?
Thank you.
David, what else? Anything?
I think I don't have anything else.
Okay. Debbie, 1 to 10, how was it?
It was great. Thank you.
Everybody says great. I say 1 to 10, everybody says great. I never understood that.
Getting video, getting that under control is one thing, and then getting it out into the world is just a whole new avenue that I think a lot of us are trying to get our arms around.
Yeah.
And
yeah, getting it out is a challenge.
And hopefully we can do a next level to help us, like the 8 steps, like we're doing it. So now we need to make it effective. And what all do we need to do to make it effective?
Yeah.
And that's a whole other conversation.
Well, what we could do is after this thing is over, David, why don't you talk to your favorite title company or lender? And what we'll do is we'll set up a class where you'll bring your laptop, Debbie, and we'll write the post, we'll add the photos, we'll add the video, we'll optimize it, and then we'll syndicate it all in one class. Okay? But we'll all do it together. Would that be good?
Yep. Thank you, guys. I have to go.
Last thing, if you guys are rusty on the campaign builder, we've got 2 trainings a week. Just go to ifoundagent.com, sign up for a training. This is the time to get your database together. Not that there's ever been a bad time, but
yeah, Dave, what I think
now
is
the time.
You get like 20 agents, right? I think 20 is the maximum you want to do, maybe even 15. And then if they have an website, they got to bring a video, and then we'll go through that strategy. Maybe we do a listing because every agent has a listing. But we'll talk about the gallery, and we'll talk about the optimization of the photos, Google images, and we'll talk about all that stuff. Okay?
All right, I'm going to post the training link, and then that's it for me.
Thank you. It was great.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. All right, David.